first, let me just kind of collapse some of these things in here. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is yesterday when I was talking about arranging your spaces and giving you some tips to keep your drawings organized, one of the things that I forgot to tell you about, and I'm just going to draw kind of a wavy line here to demonstrate this, is our transform. And this is a way, like say that you want this same, like say that you were to copy and paste this same one, but you want it to be flipped. So you could go like that, but then you don't know if you're getting it to be, you know, is that too stretched? Is it not enough stretched to make it be perfect? A quick way that you can do that is object, transform, and then we have a bunch of options in here. This one would be reflect. Hold that, make sure that that preview is clicked. And then you can reflect that on a horizontal axis or a vertical one, or create a specific angle. And so that's a good way to do that kind of thing. Now, other things, you can also right-click and get to the same thing. Move, this is if you want to move something. I know, I wouldn't use this tool to do that. But rotate, you can do this to a specific angle. Like if you know for a fact that you want this at a perfect 90-degree angle, you know, switch, then now I know that that is moved at a 90-degree angle. Reflect, we already talked about. Scale, this is like, let's say that you make something, but you know that you want it to be shrunken by a certain percentage. Like, yes, I understand that I could go like this, but if you know that you want that line to be half of what the other one is, then you can do scale, and you would scale it down to 50%, and there's half of that line. If you were to make any sort of like homemade bar graphs or something like that, that might come in handy. And then finally shear. Shear is going to like tilt it, and so you can control the angle that it's tilted. You see how that kind of just shifted to the left there, and you can adjust the axis that that happens on. So just some quick things to transform. All right, so the next thing I want to do, and I'm going to set us up with just a square here, and I'm going to have it, these are my old high school colors. Okay, so yesterday we went over the 3D effects and had fun with that, and now today I want to highlight some other effects, and one would be distort and transform. Now there's a couple of these in here, but I'm just going to highlight a few of them for you that I feel might be useful. So one would be pucker and bloat. Always turn your preview on so that you can see what you're doing. And now you can, and they're each going to come up with their own options. So if you're creating some sort of patterns, this might be something fun to play around with. Looks like what? Yeah, okay, go back up here. Roughen is going to roughen up the edges. And so if you wanted to go for kind of a weathered look, you know, this is pretty extreme, but you can adjust that edge like so. You can adjust how much detail that has. And if you want those points, like that point right there, to be like a corner or smoothed out, that's what you can do there. What was another one? Transform. This one, okay, this one's really cool. So with this one, you have different sliders. Oh, thank you. Different sliders and like horizontal, vertical. It's just going to scale it. Nothing really too crazy. Get that back to where it was. Whoa. And we can rotate that. That's nothing really crazy until we alter how many copies it makes. And so now if I click on 10 copies and now I alter that, we start to, It's like it copies and creates those 10 and rotates them in that angle. And now if we were to move some of these around, how that rotates is going to be different. Now with the shape, it's not as cool, I will say. Oops, I want to keep that up there. As when you do it, like, let's say if I get my blob brush, and a reminder, the blob brush paints like a shape. So now I can actually fill this stroke with a color. Maybe, how about that one? And up that. Like so. Now if I do this same, where is I transform? Let's do 20 copies. Hit my preview on. Now let me, whoa, a little bit goes a long way. So there's that. Now what if we go this way? Cool. Cool. Now what if I rotate these? So you can really create some pretty neat stuff with that. Now this is gonna, all be like one object, and there might be a way to expand this, expand appearance. There you go. Now I have anchor points that I could work with each of these lines individually. So again, I did that by object, expand. Let's see, zigzag is going to work very much like roughen. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one down here. Oh yeah, never mind. These two are ones that don't really do a whole lot. Zigzag is going to work very much like roughen, but you can alter exactly how many ridges that has. If you're creating like a title card for something or some sort of wanting to block out some text, that might be a cool thing to work with. So, okay, why don't you guys test out those? These are Illustrator effects under Effect, Distort, and Transform.